Hey guys, George here, and today I was supposed to bring to you guys a live streaming event. However, once I started to stream, what I realized was I don't have the bandwidth um, to bring to you a quality video. So um, if there is a stream presently on YouTube, I'm going to take it down because that lagged faster. That lagged more than a turtle, a 200-year-old turtle. Really, it was really bad. So what I'm going to bring to you instead is a short video. Well, not a short video, a long video rather. I'm going to set up priority target, which is scenario S13, which I am going to play next with my esteemed buddy Monty Jasper. I hope after switching sides on S12, and S12 is a pretty big scenario I find for starter kit in terms of map board length, and this one as well. This one as well because it's kind of a big board. Oh, we'll look over it as we're doing the SSF, which is the scenario starter file. So Vassal is the majority of the time. This is how I play, and also towards the later half of the video, I'm going to do a what am I going to do? A weekend review. I've never done a weekend review, and it's pays, I think, to do a weekend review. And as well, if you want to listen to me live, I am on Stormfront Saturdays, and that's on the um, Advanced Squad Leader um, Advanced Squad Leader Discord channel. And I'd like to thank Hong Kong Wargamer for setting this channel up for me. So here you can review different ASL general discussions, SK rules questions. Let's take a couple of them. Self-rally MMC. Probably I've asked that question before. Let's see. 3.1 E and F. During the player turn, he may attempt to self-rally one MMC. If the counter he selects to self-rally as his first rally attempt fails, then he can attempt to rally that. Oh, wait a second. MMC. Then he can attempt to rally that same unit using the good order leader the unit is stacked with. Does this violate the no unit may attempt to rally more than once per player turn? Or does the next sentence, however, a good order leader may attempt to rally all his units he is stacked with? Overrule the part about attempt to rally more than once per player turn. If an MMC attempts to self-rally and fails, it cannot attempt to rally under leader direction. If broken leader self-rallies, it can then rally any broken units that are in the same hex. That's true. Um, that's what I thought. Now tell my PBEM opponent. Well, that is not correct. You cannot attempt to self-rally with a unit in a hex with an unbroken leader. I think that Garrig 38 is absolutely right. The if the MMC is stacked with a good order leader, he cannot self-rally. I don't think that restriction exists in SK. That may be also correct. At least I'm not finding it at the moment. Um, yeah, Hell Engine is correct. Yeah, it's actually the attacker can self-rally one MMC without a border or square around the morale. Then broken units with a leader can attempt to rally. It doesn't say it especially though, but you do not you do that in order, and it's apparent that, in my opinion, self-rally seems pretty self-explanatory, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's why it pays to consult a couple of sites and get an overall global perspective of what is right and what is wrong. And ultimately, I think I've seen more experienced players just throw the die or say, okay, let's continue with the flow of the game and whatnot. So let's do the SSF for priority target, and then I'll briefly talk to you about my weekend review. So with priority target, always good to consult your scenario card. I'm not going to give you a PDF copy of it. and look at the SSRs. Look at the special rules, because sometimes in the special rules, like for example, special rule number 4 says grain is in season, although it's April. So it is in season. British crews and the Australian first line units do not cower, 3.22. So I'm not too sure if it's in the rules. Um, if it's in the rules, I don't know why you need a special rule for it. Well, I know in the advanced game, first line Commonwealth troops do not cower. That's part of the nationality traits. I'm not sure if that is specifically stated in starter kit. Guns may not use hip, 6.4. Oh, that's a bad one. Yeah, but I remember playing this game. Allied leaders incur a +1 DRM when attempting to rally or direct units of a different nationality. So that's the Greek units from Force W. Set up in set up with no British or Australian units. So the Greek units, I'm not too sure why is it they're under Force W. Force W, was it the Wiggle Force or something like that? I'm not sure. Anywho, let's go ahead and get those units out. And what you want to do is get your counter tray out. And here's my counter tray. And I have it on a different screen so I can keep it open, right? I can keep it open and not go away from my board. So we want to start with the Allied OB first because they're there and they're British. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. So British units from Force W. Well, Force W is a British unit. Okay, and it's in Corinthos. So it's about to fall. Greece is about to fall. Not even. So the war started in sometime October 28th of 1941. October. Wow. This is April 1941? Mini Dunkirk? And when did the Battle of Crete end? Or is it 1940? 1940 to 1941. Yeah. October 28th, 1940. I gotta look it up. Hold on, guys. Okay, so Greco-Italo War. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, October 28th, 1940 to April 23rd, 1941. So October 1940, and I would say Crete collapsed a couple of weeks after the end of May of 1941. So Greece lasted a pretty long time, considering that it did not have the same compatible weapons as their British allies towards the latter half of the war. Towards the latter half of the war. Um, okay, so now we got some 228s, and you can just put them there, and then you can clone the remainder. You don't have to click and drop. So Control K is the shortcut, and you've got um, three crews. Okay, and then let's put a gun. The gun is an AA gun, is it? Yeah, 3AA 40L. I would look at 40L. Uh, so rate of fire is 3, infantry fire type equivalent is 8, and an M number of 8. It's a quick traverse weapon. So let's do Control K. There you go. We got them. Unfortunately, we don't have any snipers. Oh well. All the better. I had a good sniper, a good leader eliminate a couple of good leaders this week eliminated by snipers. And then we want to put the Azak core. So we got 2, 4, 5, 7s. You got to be careful. Um, you got to be careful in putting them down. because if you have any other unit selected and you clone, then you automatically clone everything else. So you can't deploy and start a kit, so they give you already some half squads. You can't deploy and recombine, which is a bummer as well. But like, keeping the game simple, I suppose. So how many troops are there? So nobody's in the Discord channel. Let's see. I'm alone. Well, nobody is there. I'm not too sure if people are aware of Discord. Okay. So, and the other thing that I'm here on Stormfront Saturdays, Corporal Curious. Ah, nobody's around. Everybody's mowing the lawn with natural lawnmowers, goats, and sheep up here in Canada, I suppose. We're climate friendly. And single man counters, we have an 8-0 and a 7-0. And what matters here is that they're elite. So we got 2, 3, 2, and a couple of LMGs. Go to support weapons. 2 7s. You got to be careful with British support weapons. And just clone that one. Yep, we don't have anything else selected. There you go. That's another force. And then the good old Greeks. So we go to Allied Minor. And we don't need a identity card there. We got 2 greens, which are 4-3-7s. And clone that one. And 2 half squads, green half squads. 2-3-7s, 2-2-7s. That's a bummer. Okay, and an 8-0 leader. So we got 4 squads and a leader. Just one old lonely leader here. Okay, and now what we'd like to do is name our leaders. Now let's start with, and we can declutter. Okay, so let's select the leaders like that, and then right click and name. We're gonna name Wilson is number 1, and Dexter is the next one. There you go. Wherever Dexter might be. And here, name uh, should we name him Pulos? Uh, yeah, Pulos. Let's just name him Pulos. There you go. Pulos is there. All right, great. Now let's do the axes. The elements of 5 Compagnie, 2 Battalion, 2nd Fallschirmjäger Regiment. Boy, that's a mouthful. Okay, so we'll give a little token here for the German player. Some folks set up anywhere. Enter on or after turn 1 along any edge. Enter on after turn 1 along any edge. Anyway, we'll put down the setup instructions later. So info allied axis will be, and let's go to squads, and we have some 548s engineers. So the difference between assault engineers, usually the typical difference is smoke exponent for assault engineers is usually higher. And we got 9 of those. I was about to say an inappropriate word. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. There you go. And 2 5/8s. Half squads. Let's go to half squads. So what? Ooh. Darma, Olmaya, full squads. Okay, half squads. All right, 2 3 8s. 2 3 8s. There you are. Look, I got Fosherm rig here. I have a little parachute there. It means they fell out of an airplane using an umbrella. All right, so we've got one. Control K. Control K3. And another one. Control K. Put them over there. That's 5. Now look at these leaders. We got a 9 minus 1. And by the way, the counter that I hate most is this. This one, see? See how that guy looks? He looks too casual. He's not wearing a helmet. I don't know where they got that art from. This thing. This guy looks like he's war ready. With a hard head on and everything. 9 minus 1. 8 minus 0. And 2 8 O's. So, okay. To clone. Good. And then support weapons, be careful, don't pick up French light machine gun. There you go. Control K, Control K. Yep. And 3 DC charges. There. Where are those DC charges? There they are. Boom. Let's put these guys like that, and let's click and drag and bring them down a little bit so we can have the setup instructions, remove, move. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Now what we want to do is click here and bring in a label. Quite a few labels actually. Label no background, label line 2. That's what you want. I like them with the background. And I can clone this one as well because we're going to have one there. Let's put this aside for now. Let's drag it a little bit down. Click shift and click, oops, see what I mean? If you have more than one thing selected, put that there. Drag them a little bit down. Drag these guys a little bit down. And then clone there and clone here. And clone here. And you want to maybe put a little embellishment here. Clone that one here, put it there. Oh, and put this one here. Okay. Now what we want to do is go to Neil's site. Okay, I'll show you where the site is. War Games, and it's called a table generator. There it is. Okay, I'll bring it over to your side of the screen. There you go, guys. So here is whether you want it horizontal or vertical. And they can come in from any side. So where is there more space? I think there's more space on top. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use a vertical or horizontal compact because let's face it, in StarKit you don't have as many complexities. Aerial is good. There you go. Scenario ID is S13 and scenario name is priority target. Scenario date is 26th of April. April 1941. Scenario location is Corinthos, and Greece. Haha. Do not get the turn rate wrong. Your opponent might think that he has more time than he needs. There we go, 6. There are no real highlights, and the player that moves first is the Germans. And we can put anonymous here. Anonymous Johann. I don't like Fritz. It's overused. Reinforcements, don't worry about it. Germans, ELR. There's no sound in starter kit. ELR is 3. ELR? 5. Oh, okay. Um, ELR 3 for everyone on the Allied side. So here we have British. Player 2 is Anonymous Joe. Oh, yeah, why not? Anonymous. Anonymous Joe. We got British. And ELR is 3. There you go. And good to put down the victory conditions, just so we remember. The Germans win immediately if all 3 British AA guns are eliminated or captured, or if the Germans solely occupy all hexes containing non-captured guns. So basically, that means is um, you don't necessarily need to possess the guns in order to consider them captured. You just could um, if the Germans solely occupy all hexes containing non-captured guns. Oh well. You may not necessarily want to possess the guns, but for one reason or another, because you have to expend movement points to uh, possess them, in which case the defender can fire at you. Yeah, I just got notification that my stream went live, which is about an hour later, or 30 minutes later than expected. It's probably going to be the worst stream that you ever saw, or I'm going to take it down. I'll see what it looks like. So far as I know, I'm the only one here in this room. Somebody's playing in Hasmo 22. Vic and Robert. Yep. Oh well. Um, so show height as HMTML. This is what it looks like. You have miscellaneous wind, compass, phase wheel. That's all we really need for our starter kit scenario. So copy to clipboard. Okay, and let's minimize this. Now you go to your label, click on it with the shift key, and just paste the HTML code in there and say OK. And then by magic it appears. And then you want to like position it in a place where it doesn't interfere with your gameplay. Right? And the other thing you want to do in the Vassal module is click on the info button like that. And here you make sure that the axis player is the first player moving, right? And if you want to change that, you can go to the drop down. Axis moves first. There you go. And just you can also put the ELR there, but I find that ELR doesn't really do anything in there. So axis ELR is 5, and allied ELR is 3. It should give you a notification of potential ELR if the unmodified dice is higher than expected, you know. But anyway, okay, so we saved that. We want to remove all moves again. And basically got that, and you want to put a phase wheel, so you go to your counter tray again and put in a little phase wheel, and a compass directional is the minimal that you should put down. So let's do that. Info, oh, in unit, other. Okay, other, face track. So you want to put a nice face track here indicating that the German player goes first, and then you go to weather, you get yourself a little compass, and there's the compass. And basically I like to use these counters as a turn tracker, which is great. All right, now here, basically what you do is write a little HTML code. And HTML, you don't have to, but it helps. It helps in being able to format using HTML format stuff. Uh, Now, it says set up as indicated. You can probably skip that and say British units from force W set up anywhere, and then you do a BR command, which means a break line, with each a gun. Now, greater than or equal to is like this, but there's special HTML characters for greater than and equal to. So I'll pause the video. I'll pause the video on my end and look that code up and continue. Yep. So and let's try this, which is ampersand GT equal to. Let's try it out. I've been very lazy in terms of um, putting the proper HTML handles for those signs. They're called handles. Entities is what they call them. I'm not sure. Anyway, hexes from buildings and buildings, and put BR for a breaker, and then and let's try this. Less than. Here's where I found the doodads here. Yeah, less than. All right, LT and upper sand LT equal sign 5 hexes from at least one other gun, but not adjacent to any other gun. And then you've got to close your HTML tag like this. HTML, HTML. And then let's see how it looks. That doesn't look too good. All right, so I know what I did here. I had something wrong selected. There you go. Let's look at line label. Nope. Cancel. Oh, I see what I did. Cancel. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go there. Oh, there it is. Or here, rather. Label. Do Control X. Say OK. All right. Go here. Label. Go Control V. Okay, cancel that. That's the problem I have. Maybe it's label. Control V. Say OK. Yeah, it's not too bad. And here, let's click somewhere else. Make sure we only have one thing selected, and then backspace and say OK. We corrected a little mistake. Put these guys on the side. move this back into a better position. And this, folks, is how I make a scenario starter kit file. Okay. And this is a bit long. So at gun, we're going to insert a BR, another break point. So going to label, go where it says gun. Yeah, right there. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. And we want to shift a couple of things down here. And technically speaking, the Germans can conceivably try and enter from here as well. These guys here. Oops. Let's move the Greeks a little bit over. British a little bit over. Okay, so now we'll put in the instructions for the Anzac forces. Remove those moves. And the instructions for the Anzac forces are pretty simple. HTML again. And put in Australian elements of Anzac, all caps. I should promote this video as ASMR because I'm really talking softly, I find. Set up anywhere. Anywhere there. And closing tag HTML. Greater than and less than signs worked pretty easily. So GT, LT, ampersand just before that. HTML. On line 2, we can erase line 2 just like that. Backspace there. And put these guys over here. There you go. Yep, now the Greeks. The Greek force W. Never heard of Greek force W, but anyway. Label. Let's go ahead and do opening tag for HTML. And then I'll say Greek units from force W in quotes, whatever that means, set up in hexes, haha, with no British or Australian units. I take issue with that. What is it with the Greeks? Did they smell funny or what? Okay, yeah, we use oregano as the deodorant. Line 2, or used to at least in the old days. Probably more natural than anything else. More healthy. Okay, let's switch those Germans over to the other side. And so far, it looks pretty good. Pretty nifty, I find. Well, let's pull them a little bit apart. If the Greeks were stinkers, then you can imagine what the Germans were. Not used to that hot, sweaty climate in Corinthos, Greece, with the dust blowing up in their face and everything. What's with me today? Get rid of the moves. Now that tree's shaking pretty hard in the wind. Well, all right. Let's go to label. Yeah, label. And this is easy. You know, HTML elements of 5 period company double twos or double L's battalion, German or French, second Fallschirm Jager. I ain't gonna do that special A. Jager. Regiment. Oh, regiment. ELR 5, but they don't have an underlying morale. Bummers. Enter on after. I'm gonna do a little BR. Turn 1 along any edges, semicolon, and closing tag HTML. And then just go into label line 2 and destroy it. Boom. All right. Now, what I usually like to do is uh, try to find a nice picture for the forces. So I'll start with the allies. Now I'm gonna go into Google. I'm gonna show you this. I'm not gonna pause the video on my end. So where am I going to go? All right, here. This is a good page to go to. So here's my HTML entities for those of us that have memory challenges. And I'm going to go into, I don't want to look for it. Well, let's look up Force W. Force W, uh, World War II. See if there's an album for that. Not really. But I'm pretty sure that I guess you don't have to do a divisional insignia. You can also do a picture, an army picture, but you can also put on Anzac and see what Anzac is all about. Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. And this is Wikipedia, free comments. So I like this picture. I want to put it in my Vaso file. All right, so let's go there. Wikipedia. What kind of nifty pictures we got there? Hey, check it out. There's even a memorial in Crete. Ain't that nice? Here we go. We got the classic mule. That's all we got. All right, so I'll use this for lack of a division force. So I'm gonna use this. But what is this talking about? This is more or less Gallipoli, Anzac. But hey, we'll do the trick. So we want to do there, right click and go to, so the resolution is 747 by 1000. Uh, we'll see what we can do about that. All right, and copy image address. And then there's a convoluted code, not really convoluted. You can find it at the other aforementioned website that will help us put it in. So I'll pause the video on my end and do that code. The moment of truth. Let's go here. Label. Cancel. Cancel. I almost overrode everything. All right. Label. And here, put in that code. It won't look good. I can tell. Oh, it's not so bad. So here, we've got to go to label and resize it. And if we are to resize everything, it was about 7 to 10. I wonder if I put 700 pixels, 1000 here, how it will look. Huge! Okay, so we want to probably reduce it by a third to a third of its size. So label 700 700 divided by 3 is 233. Uh, let's see, 233 to 333, if that's better. Well, that's pretty nifty. All right, let's put it a little bit this way, a little bit more. Pretty nice. Now, where are these jokes? Oh, we forgot to name the German leaders. So we'll name this guy Mayor, because Monty likes a fellow called Mayor. Um, I'd like to call this guy Stinky, but anyway. Name. Okay, Bueller it is. And we got Mueller and Mark. Yeah, that's okay. Where do these guys come from? Second from Fallschirmjäger Regiment. So let's Google it. Second Fallschirmjäger Regiment. Regiment. Second Parachute Division. Oh well, doesn't look fancy, but it's good enough for me. There you go. Might be inaccurate. Let's right click and copy image address and go to our trusty Notepad++ and just shove them in there. Or shove them in here rather. And what we want to do is change the address here. From there, Control V, then Control A, Control C, and go back to our vassal. Put them in there. Cancel. You have everything else selected. Nope, good. And label. Control V. And let's take a look at the original pick. So the original pick is how many pixels? More details? Come on, boys. More details. Okay. 157 by 216. So if we want to reduce that by half, 157 by 216. Okay, and this is right click, label. Oh, so go 157 by 216. 16. Say okay. A little bit smaller, but manageable. There you go. So I got a nice SSF here. I'm impressed. Don't forget to ask your opponent to check for accuracy because you can always make mistakes. 44 minutes. All right, so the week in review. I'm going to pause for a moment and save this on my end, and I'll show you the week in review. Okay, so we saved it, and we can go to File, Close Game. You'll probably see my desktop, it doesn't matter. And let's go into the week in review. So Monday, my Monday night opponent now is the great and venerable Dino Limosani, and I'm going to try and load gamer log. I'll show you what happened there. So we're playing J214, Raf's orders. Is it? No, not they, not rafts or ah, that's at the cement plant. This is what we're playing. Yep, and I'll show you where we're at. We're at the top of turn 3A, open. So this happened Monday night. I'll give you a couple of doodads. There you go. So I'm playing as the Germans, and my opponent is playing as the Russians, and then we're going to switch sides. I got my one of my Stooks knocked out. I am. We are on turn 3, and we have 3 more turns to go. Uh, and he really hit me hard. Actually, we were pretty hitting each other hard, and it's a bit of a special game because my opponent prefers to play on board. I prefer to play on Vassal for one reason or another. And basically, what is going on is all hell's breaking loose. And it took me 3 turns to get close to my objective. Am I going to make it? We'll see. Turn 4 is going to be very pivotal. Pivotal. I just finished turn 3A, so it's going to be 3B. We'll see what Dino will do if I survive any fire. Um, it'll be great and dandy. Yeah, it'll be great and dandy. And I may be able to dislodge him from there. So that was Monday night. I'll pause the video, load the other SSF, and show you Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, my Tuesday night opponent, Alain Charbon, we're playing Back to the Beaches 2, Merrily Hanging On, and I am merrily hanging on. Let me tell you, um, my center is kind of exposed with a lot of German troops hanging on. What I hope to do here is stave off a frontal assault. It's come down to a frontal assault, and my units are more or less broken here and there, and a bit of a pickle, and my tanks at least have managed to approach the front unscathed. Yeah, there are a couple of martyrs around, but I hope to lead them into my against my tanks, and that's how the cookie shall crumble. That was my Tuesday night game. And Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I'm still playing with Ken, throwing down the gauntlet. Now, due to personal commitments, I haven't been able to play consistently week after week with Ken. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I only play 1 hour a night, so the progress is slow. But he did manage to throw back a flanking attack here. Uh, got a couple of good shots on several units, and of course, um, for one reason or another, I forgot to assign a leader to this group. All my leaders are up here. We'll see how the cookie crumbles there. And Thursday night, I did not play because my opponent had to do some personal work on his property. So it is what it is. And last night, I did play him, and we are playing in a very interesting scenario from ASL Journal number 2. I'll show you in a moment. So we reverse sides on this game, I believe. Uh, I'm not sure if I'm showing you the latest save file. Yeah, we both ended up losing as the Germans, um, but the latest game that we're playing, it has not yet been concluded. And I noticed one thing in playing this game. and this scenario is called Smashing the Third, J24. It takes place in 1944 in Wallowman, Poland, and we have to work on our assault and the attack based on a very short amount of turns, um, and the use of smoke and moving and assaulting. Really, we really have to brush up on our tactics on that, and that's more or less the moral of the story. Here, if you do play a good defensive game with the Russians, and I think Dennis and I are pretty good defensive players, then you really could go against the odds as what uh, is being shown um, in the on that site. I forget what it's called, Roar Data. Yeah, and the Roar Data has actually an advantage for the Germans. So, but if you are a good defensive player, I think you can win against the Germans single-handedly. Hmm. Okay, and that was my week in review. I hope you enjoyed this video. My apologies that I couldn't get you guys a live stream that was in good order. Uh, and if you want to join my live, you want to call it podcast, I'm going to be here Saturday mornings, Stormfront Saturdays on a special Vassal Discord um, channel brought to you by Hong Kong Wargamer. Take care.